Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Former PNP Senator Delano Franklin has died. Former People's National Party PNP Senator Delano Franklin has died. Reporters understand that Franklin died on Thursday night after ailing for some time. Franklin had been admitted in serious condition last September at the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI. An urgent appeal for blood was made for the former senator at the time. The reason for his hospitalization was not disclosed publicly. An attorney at law, Franklin was one of the founding partners of the law firm Wilson and Franklin. In 1998, he was appointed to the chief advisor to the then Prime Minister of Jamaica, P.J. Patterson. Electrician gunned down in Little London, Westmoreland. An electrician was shot dead at a shop on Brockton Road in Little London, Westmoreland on Wednesday night. The deceased has been identified as 67-year-old Luton Brown, otherwise called Duck Eye, of a Old Hope Road district in the parish. Reports from the police are that Brown was outside a shop shortly after 8 p.m. when he was approached by an unknown assailant who opened gunfire, hitting him several times. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, Brown was found lying on his back with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was transported to the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Investigations are ongoing. Don't breach. Prime Minister Holness says stiffer road traffic fines to prevent bad behavior.
The incorporation of new measures to improve road safety, which may have financial penalties. It is not designed as a revenue measure. The government has no real interest in earning money from bad behavior. It is there as a penalty to prevent bad behavior. So I've taken careful note of this argument being presented, that the fines are too high, which is effectively to say that we want lower fines so that we can pay them and continue to breach. The idea of the high fine is to say to you, don't breach. We're not interested in the money, we're interested in your safety. I think that needs to be said. Jamaica is a democracy. And you have a government that listens. And if an error is made, the government is not infallible. We correct it. And the correction has been made. And so now I'm urging the country to move past that. And I'm urging all road users, all drivers, motorists, pedestrians, motorcycle riders, you now have a duty. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You now have a duty to find out about the law, in as much as the government has a duty to put the information out there about the law. So 2 weeks ago, I had tasked the Road Safety Council to review the law, and I'm not saying that this is a parliamentary review, meaning a review to change the law, but to take a real look at the law, come back to us with areas that need better explanation, because it is important that the general public understands why it is that we are putting in some of the rules. So, for example, we would have seen information in our public domain saying that the public can no longer tow a vehicle. Yes, that has been put out in the public domain. That is not the case. The law is specific to towing on the highways. And why is it that we have to make this provision? I would think it would be quite obvious and reasonable that on the highways, the motorways, where traffic speed is high and people are not expecting the towing of vehicle, which could create great harm for people driving, that this would be reasonable and acceptable. But in the current context of misinformation, deliberate misinformation, to take advantage of the upset and uncertainty that exists when we start to enforce, for whatever reason, to create mayhem in the minds of people, and to just, create a situation where the public is upset with their government. We must be ready with the information and the explanations. We must bring the people along with us as we seek to have the law enforced. The measures that we are discussing now, many of them, in fact, I would say the vast majority of them, are not new. They have been in the Act, some of them since 1999 or earlier. And there have been several iterations of the Road Traffic Act. This government has taken it unto itself to firmly start the process of enforcing the laws that have all been agreed upon. They've gone through several parliaments, have agreed that these are laws that we should have on our books. But they just never had the commitment to enforce it. And why is there not the commitment to enforce? Well, first of all, the enforcement of laws require political commitment. Because whenever you go to enforce laws, there are some persons, especially if they have been operating under a system where the law has not been enforced, they will feel that they are being disadvantaged. In other words, they are required to now change their action, when before they did not have to incur the cost of change in action, or they benefited from a system that was loose and without consequence. There is some argument to be made that if you should have been enforcing the law and you didn't enforce the law, then you should give some notice of the enforcement of the law. And I believe that since 2016, when we came into office, we have been saying, and we were very clear, that it is our intention to enforce the law. And we even gave an amnesty in 2017, and we signaled then that we intend to enforce the law. When we passed the Road Traffic Act, it became a public document that everyone would have had access to and could read it. So it was no secret that we intended to enforce the law.
Queen Ifrica calls for Julie Tunis to lead fight against violence against women.
You see me, I say, babes, I go alright, man. I just one of them things there, you see me? It's wicked and terrible and ugly, and Andrew Holness and Juliet. You have youth in a Juliet. You see me, I say, step from back of Andrew, man, and come on the front line, come see mothers like them here, man. You see what I say? And come feel where them a feel in our country where them love. You see what I say? How no comfortable, so. How it's so nice for uno, for every day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be a girl that come up rape and dead and the whole of uno good and alright. And some of uno Jamaican woman too. We sit down up in a uptown in a echelons of society. And I look at the new talk about it now, come up there. One Jamaica, you know, we can walk come at any uptown community. We can walk, go anywhere in Jamaica. Our ancestors them used to walk through the hills them from St. Thomas, go Montego Bay. So we can walk, go anywhere. We want to say, we want to walk, come on the gate, come turn up and ball, and make us see how belly pain really feel. We want to see some woman uptown who have powers to come and use up the social media space and talk on behalf of mothers like them here. Yeah, and stop calling them poor people and not your business that. You see what I say? Look, this look like a somebody where grow our youth for she come dead for a man use. And you see a dirty man in a Jamaica we just want to see girl because them sexy and look good. I want to feel like so they just can have sex with them and do as you like with them. And the moment them probably just say them want them rights, want to feel like so you can kill them and just walk off with it. I just choose Jamaican woman asleep, you know. I remember say none of them are never no fool, you know. You see what I say? Some want every mother, you know, for just know saying our time for protect with pitney them, you know, and make them stop call with slut and whore and dirty woman, you know. You understand what I say? Because we the slut and the whore them we all want to push out, you know. You see what I say? I'm disappointed in a Jamaican man. And how me see una deal with woman like you never love woman, you know. I mean, I see no man stand up for Jamaican woman, you know. The whole out just have the youth, them a sodomize them out and I turn them in a be a whore. And be a nastiness and I tell them say it's alright for them be prostitute, you know. And some of you want to come call all we youth them prostitute and all want to come judge all Donnelly them when you see them think they reach them like I talk about a money man they love and a true they love things make them think they happen to them.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click